Hi everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. It has been a while. It's been several weeks. I have worked a few Mondays in the clinic. Today I was off. I tackled part of my craft room. I'd show it to you, but there's part that really, you know, if it goes one place, it has to leave someplace else, or has to be positioned someplace else. So I'm getting there, I really am, and you'll be impressed if you come to my card class Thursday night, because you can see that I am definitely getting there, but I'm not there yet. I'm so glad to be here with you today. Today we are talking Blueberry Bunches. Blueberry Bunches is a stamp set in the mini catalog. I love the stamp set. I love anything blue, and when Blueberry Bushel came back, I was so excited. You know that it took me a while to use Blueberry Bushel though, even after all that. It was kind of crazy. But anyway, I'm excited about this card class that I'm doing on Thursday night. You can get it, come to it in person. I'll be doing a tutorial, and which my team will get it. And you can also get the class to go with a minimum $35 order. But who wants to do $35 when you can do $50 and get a free celebration item for about another 10 days? So hurry, hurry, hurry. Nice day today. I live in Lynnfield, Massachusetts, about 20 minutes north of Boston. It was cold, a little breezy this afternoon, but the dogs love to be outside and I've enjoyed going out with them. So let's get down to business. I'm going to flip up to flip down, and I'll show you the cards. You'll see on my nice glass mat that I have the February host code. If you do your $35 or more order, I'll send you the card class. Let's flip up to flip down. I'm so glad to see you. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to move this more in the picture for sure. So I'm definitely, well, you guys need to see it. There's my host code up in the corner. Okay, let's get to bunches. Blueberry bunches. I'm going to start, I think, with my favorite card first. And they're all a little bit different, and they're all a little bit different blues. But this is my favorite. It's not entirely Blueberry Bushel. Blueberry Bunches. It actually, I used the Hooray for Surprises stamp set too. Let me show you the Blueberry Bunches stamp set real quick while I'm here. You've got a long stem and a big stem. I kind of wish that there was a smaller, still smaller blueberry bunch, but there isn't, so I made do. And you'll see in one of my cards, I actually cut it apart and it worked out well. Sentiments are really nice and easy. I love the mixed font, but let's show you. This is Hooray for Surprises. Really love the stamp set. You're going to see this very soon in a card class. But I used the Hope Your Birthday is Something Wonderful, and then inside I said make a wish. Let's show you this card. It's kind of a fancy fold card, but really super easy. So you've got your Blueberry Bushel card base, and it's only 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I actually, this time, only did it as a single card base. So it's not a card within a card or anything. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I have Parakeet Party on top here. Could be Lemon Lime Twist mixed up in my Parakeet Party. I'm going to really, really miss Parakeet Party when it goes in April. This color is so nice and fresh. I'm gonna, between that and Starry Sky and Orchid Oasis, oh my goodness, going to miss these colors so much. Okay, so I embossed this with the, I can't remember, and Shirley told me the name the other day, but it's a 3D embossing folder. And it does lovely impressions, really nice and deep. I already did it for you. So here we go. I cheated for the magic of television. And we're just going to glue that to our bottom base. So I've got my, I bet that glue is empty. It doesn't feel very full. So here I have my card layer. This is, like I said, either Lemon Lime Twist or Parakeet Party. If it is Lemon Lime Twist, it was mixed up in my Parakeet Party. I embossed that with a new 3D embossing folder, which I can't remember the name of it, but it is in our mini catalog right now. And it's so pretty. Look at that. It could be anything. I'm thinking that these could be the flowers for the blueberries, and that was kind of my intention. Obviously, this is probably more like water lilies or something like that, but my next layer here is 3 1/4 inches by 8 1/2 inches, and I scored it at 4 1/4 inches. And all I'm going to do is glue that onto the front right there. So let me do that real quick because there's nothing else that I have to do, so I might as well get that layer out of the way so that it's not lost. I'm going to make sure it's even top and bottom, left and right, and I'm just going to attach that. And then I just realized what I am missing. Hang on 1 second. I forgot the blueberry gingham paper. So the blueberry gingham paper is 3 inches by 4 inches. A perfect 1/4 inch, actually an 1/8 of an inch around each side because it's a 1/4 inch smaller than the front. 3 by 4 is a really nice size. You can get 2 out of 1 sheet of paper. So I was looking at this pattern as well, and I think it's too busy for the card. So I decided to stick with this one. I'm going to glue that right to the front. And then I'll show you all my blueberries are colored a little bit differently, which has been kind of fun. There we go. I've got my label. This is from the Thoughtful Expressions dies. I don't have a lot of room here, but I want to make sure I'm staying in the screen. So I have here, Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful. And because it's photopolymer, it's wonderful to be able to see through it. And I can die cut this ahead of time and perfectly position this, hopefully, and not make a mess. I leave it there for a second, let the ink absorb into my basic white cardstock. I just bought another 8 packs of that because I was running low on my cardstock. I'm going to pop that up on the bottom with some dimensionals. I know you're dying for me to get to the blueberries so you can see how to color them, right? Well, it's coming. Sorry, this must have, I don't know what happened to that one, but it's already, good thing I have these coming off. One of my stickers, if that dimensional backing flips over, they're not equally unsticky. It's going to stick to the thing and you're not going to ever get it off your dimensional. So I'm just going to leave that alone and not worry about that. I don't need my blueberry bushel ink. Oh yes, let me just stamp my Make-A-Wish on my inside layer, which is the same as our designer paper. It's also 3 by 4. Let me stand up so I'm going to be even. There we go. Ta-da! So I'm doing this card class both Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So if Lori wants to come, Lori can come. She's my Thursday day person. Hopefully there are other Thursday day people out there, but if they aren't, let me just tell you that you're always welcome. I can't always do Thursday during the day because there are days that I'm working in the clinic. Like next Thursday, I'll be working in the clinic again. But this week, we can do card class Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. There we go. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with that. Let me show you how I colored this. And I have my scrap paper. I just have a big 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 quarter sheet of basic white. And what I'm going to do is find my blueberries in one of my bins because, of course, all of these use these 2 blueberry bunches. I'm going to stamp it with Memento. What I have found is, because this is a big stamp and I want to make sure I cover all of my areas, I like to bring the ink to that. And because it's a felt one, I can even do a little twisting and get it in there. What I'm going to do stamp this. I'm not going to fully cut this out. Oh, I hope I'm, oh, that's not bad. All of a sudden I thought, oh my goodness, I bet my leaf is stamping on my glass mat. But I guess I did okay. I'm going to tell you the colors, and we're going to start to color, and then I'll finish. What I used was the Granny Apple Green. I felt like the Lemon Lime Twist or the Parakeet Party was too bright. But the the Granny Apple Green is a little bit darker, but still in the brights family. So that does a good job. What I like to do is, of course, with my leaves, it's already a given how I'm going to color this, because they kind of give me hints with the lines on the veins of the leaves. I can just follow that a little bit. I don't have to be exact, but I can follow it at least a little bit, and that's going to do a good job. I have to make sure that I order more Granny Apple Green. I think it's my light that is, all of a sudden I noticed today I need a new marker. I've got lots of doubles of all of mine because, of course, it's usually the light that dies and then the dark doesn't, or the dark dies and the light doesn't, and then next thing you know, you've got double markers. Okay, so all I did was just color that real quick, and I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green. Yeah, it's this one. It's not a little fuzzy. It's just not nice and crisp. But I like to do it over top of those veins because when I do it over the dark, it kind of mixes it and lightens it a little bit. Just kind of evens out the color. Now, I am by no means an expert here, and I'm going to tell you that what I'm going to do is fussy cut this next. But let's move on to our blueberry bushel blueberry bunches. Say that 3 times fast, 5 times fast, whatever you want to do. What I'm going to do is my dark first. And what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to kind of follow the lines on the outside, and also my caps. I found that they were mostly dark. So I'm going to color them, and I can color over it with the light. So I'm not going to worry about staying in the lines or anything. Not for this time, because it's funny. I'm going to take less than an hour, hopefully. And of course I'm cheating because you guys know that I'm not doing all the steps, and when you come to card class, it takes a little bit longer. We'll do this like this. I'm just going around, following the cheating lines that they gave me. And then I'm going to blend it with my light blueberry bushel marker. That's what I'm going to do right here. So I don't need to do, I'm not going to get into everything. But what I will tell you is if I find that it's still too dark, which I don't think it is, but if I think that it is too dark, I can go back with my color lifter and add a little bit of shadow and sunlight to it. So that we're going to just do that like that. And I went outside of my lines, but I'm going to cut that out. And that's how we do that. So I'm going to fussy cut that, and then I just glued it onto here. And that was it. So that's my first card. So it's not quite done. I'll do it afterwards. You know what? I might as well at least finish coloring my green leaves for you guys. But I'm not going to take the time to fussy cut because you guys know how to fussy cut. I'm pretty sure you do anyway. When I fussy cut, I move my paper rather than my scissors if I can. And of course, a nice pair of paper snips, or I actually have Fiskars that I use because my hands get tired in those little, so I have Fiskars, which you can't find anymore, but I can fit my whole hand in here and still have control, so that's really nice. So I'm going to finish that card later, but here is card number 1. So there you go. Beautiful card, huh? I love the bright colors. Okay, let me put that off to the side, and let's get to, oh, don't get rid of the glue. We're going to need that for later. I'm going to put that blueberry stamp off to the side. And we're going to get to our next card. So this is my next card, and I think you're going to be surprised with this. But yes, I know this is probably juniper, but I decided to use the meadow paper for the blue, and it kind of looks like blueberries. And I'll show you how I did this. And you know what? I just realized I didn't do something ahead, so I'm going to have to run and do something in a second. But I'm going to show you how I colored these blueberries, because this is very important. let me go off to the side here. We don't have a garden green marker. So what I ended up doing was using my old olive and my shaded spruce, light old olive and light shaded spruce, and that gave me really close to garden green. Then of course I tied my ribbon there. So let me once again stamp my blueberries, and I'm going to show you how I cut these because these are a little bit different. I actually cut them apart because I couldn't fit all of the blueberries, and then I used some inside. So I'm going to first stamp my blueberries and color them, and then I'll get to the rest of the card. It's a really easy card. It's kind of a fun technique. Do that like that. Beautiful. Let me put that off to the side. And let me show you the green of the leaves here, first of all. And then I have to tell you, my card here is Starry Sky. So I used the Starry Sky blend for this one, and then I lightened it up with my color lifter. So this is the card here, and you can see that this is the rest of this blueberry. I cut it apart and put it in here. Need to get my adhesive eraser in just a second, or when I finish, and I will do that. But let me show you what I was talking about with this. Now I'm not going to get into the veins too much on this one. This one I'm just going to color with the old olive marker. If I wanted to, I could use the dark, but I'm afraid that that's going to change my color. So what I'm going to do is just use my old olive Stampin' Blend. Like I said, this is the light old olive, and I used the light shaded spruce, and to me that makes a really good combination that comes out pretty close to garden green. Boy, do I wish they'd come out with that color though, because I'd end up using that a lot. I can tell I would. But okay, so there's the old olive layer. And what I'm going to do, and I think I might have done it the other way when I made this initial card, so we'll see how this is going to work out. When I did this originally, I actually started with my light shaded spruce, and then I added the old olive. But you can see it still is doing pretty much the same thing. It's a little bit bluer. Maybe I can go over it with the old olive again. It's a little bit bluer than garden green, but you get the idea. So this is what we're doing. Ta-da! Sorry, coloring and cutting takes a lot of time, so I'm just going to show you, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the rest of the card. So that is that, and then I think I just did the blueberry bushel over my entire berry on this one. So what do you think about that garden green color? Pretty close, huh? So I'm going to go over my entire berry. I'm not even going to worry about the caps on this one, or light and dark, because I'm going to use my color lifter to give me my light and dark variations. Starry Sky is a beautiful blueberry. One last one. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys today. It's school vacation week here in Massachusetts, so no school. Not that affects me at all with my kids out of the house. I'm kind of an empty nester, except my son is still home. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one is just on the bottoms, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of lifting on the just on the bottoms, almost like a moon shape. We'll do it like that. Can I do it like that? And it's going to lighten it up just a little bit. And I almost get the same effect as that one where I used the light and the dark. But boy, these look like delicious blueberries. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I've got my 5.5 by 8.5 layer of Starry Sky. I scored it at 4 1/4, and I have a piece of the Winter Meadow paper. This is carrying over. It's on low inventory on your list right now. Wait to buy it until tomorrow because I still need another pack for my card class. But it has a nice blue on the back, but I think this blue is probably closer to Blueberry Bushel than to Starry Sky, and I already have a Blueberry Bushel card. So what I'm going to use though is my, whoop, that wasn't good, something fell, and it's something that I need. Okay, I'm using the Radiating Stitches dies. These Radiating Stitches dies are the online exclusive dies. They came out probably 6, 7, 8 months ago. It's a great rectangle die. We do have another one. I think it's called Thoughtful Moments dies. I could be wrong about that, but I'm going to tell you, we do have another set of rectangles. And in fact, did I bring my example over here? I tried cutting it with that, and it took out too much because it gave me an edge around, and then it also gave me an edge inside. There was too many dots. What I'm going to do is really quickly take this to my die cutting machine and cut this out, and I'm going to leave, I'm going to come back with that rectangle right there. So hang tight. Talk to me or leave me a comment about what the weather is over by you. I was going to see if I could find that other layer that I die cut with the other dies, but I can't see it quickly. I'll see it as soon as I get off my Facebook Live. That's the way it works. So we've got the nice detail of our die on the edges, which doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is glue this one down. So I'm going to glue this to my card front right here. Let me get my glue. I'm going to do this right around the edges. And it has a beautiful blue on the back, but like I said, I think it's closer to Blueberry Bushel, maybe even boho blue. And I didn't even think about trying boho blue, but blueberries are usually darker, so I think boho blue just is not going to work. Okay, so let me be careful here. And hard to do sitting down or stand. I always stand up when I'm making my cards, but if I do that, for some reason I'm looking at the camera instead of at the card and looking through it to try and see, and it just doesn't work. What I have next is, probably fallen. Okay, so let me tell you what I have next since I can't seem to find it. Oh, I found it. Here it is. So I have this layer of Starry Sky again, and I'm going to tell you how big this is. I believe, yeah, it's 4 1/4, which means that this piece of paper is 4 inches, and this is 3. It's actually a hair under 3 inches and a hair under, oh, I'm sorry. Let's do it this way. I'm going to get you all mixed up. So what I have here is my die cut. I'm saving. I'm going to actually stick it right back in there. It's going to be a perfect fit, especially if I do it the right way. Yep, you can see it's like fitting a puzzle. It's going to be a perfect fit, but I'm going to have this layer first. So this is just under 4 inches, just a hair under 4 inches, and a hair under, oh, it's like 2 5/8. That's right, 2 5/8. So I did this one 2 7/8. That's what I did. 2 7/8, so it's 1/8 of an inch larger than this one, because I don't want to lose the whole pattern. I want you guys to see it. So I'm going to glue this and make sure, I guess I've got time because I can also flip it around, but I'm going to make sure that I do it right side up. So this piece of designer paper is now going to go on this layer right here, just like that. And with the glue, you got a little wiggle time, and I like that. I like my wiggle time. Before I attach this, and what I will do is bump it up, but before I do that, I'm going to use some of my garden green ribbon. We just don't have a good blue ribbon right now that matches the starry sky. We've got the metallic ribbon, but that doesn't tie very well, and it's really kind of thin. And the other thing that I find that we're lacking right now is a purple ribbon. I could tell you that from my Genie in a Box, my last month's Genie in a Box, the lavender. Really hard to find a great purple ribbon. And now I'm working, in case you guys are coming to my retreat in April, I'm now working on a lavender sampler. So that's going to be my optional class at retreat. And of course you can take that to go, but you're going to need your own lavender set for some of it. Not much actually, but I'll show you that down the road. Okay, so I've got here my ribbon. I love tying bows, and for some reason, maybe I only use ribbon that works really well, and that's probably why I love to tie bows, because I stay away from the ribbon that doesn't work. Because it's twisted, I'm going to make sure that the twist is in the back. Don't worry about it in the front. It'll look better if you wait and just twist it in the back. So what I'm going to do is pop that up, and you can see here, it just continues my pattern, unless I did that upside down. Now it's definitely like this, but anyway, I'm going to get my dimensionals here. Time for another pack very soon. I don't know about you guys. I use my dimensionals sparingly, and I still always run out of dimensionals. I have nothing but the bones, and I use the bones. I hope you do too. What I do, if I get enough of them, I actually cut the strips, and then I will put it on one sheet. Rather than having 17 pages of bones, I will put one sheet on, put all the bones on one sheet if I can. You know what I'm going to do? Speaking of, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go like this, and what I'm going to do is add this across my ribbon, and that's going to hold my ribbon in place. See how that works? And even the twist. I can hear my son playing his game upstairs. Either that or he's yelling at the dog. And both are entirely possible, by the way. Because Minnie has a bad psychological licking problem. We think it's anxiety. Does actually, you know, I get anxious, so it could be. Let's see what I'm going to do. And this one I kind of have to cut because I have to show you how I did this. Okay, so see how I'm moving the paper rather than the scissors? That's the plan anyway. And sorry, I wish I could do this faster. If I'm going to, one of these days I'm going to edit my stuff, and for YouTube I can speed it up. What you guys can do if you watch this on YouTube later, because I will upload it to YouTube tonight, you can speed it up. So you can fast forward past all of this. Sorry for all of you that are live. I love that you're here. I answer all of your comments, so if you leave a comment, you better believe that I will get back and respond to them, because I love comments. I love that you're here. Otherwise, it would be lonely. It's kind of like talking to myself. And I used to do that when I was young, by the way. Sorry, I don't like white space or white, you know. For me, I have a hard time with white space and, you know, on cards, clean and simple. Mine, they're not complicated, but they aren't. It's hard for me to do a simple, clean and simple card. And it's the same thing with me. I don't do well with quiet. It's like that's like white space as well. Let me tell you what I did now. So it didn't take that long to cut this out, but I have to show you what I did. So what I did was I cut right here around 3 of the berries, just like that, just like that. So I'm going to have 3 berries on my front, and then I took one more, this little one down here. I took that one, and I'm going to cut that too. And actually, I'm going to cut, now that I say that, I'm going to cut these too, because this needs to be tucked in closer now that it's out of here. So, Okay, so let me show you what I did. I'm going to go, oh, I've got another thing that I have to do. I totally forgot. So with our Starry Sky, we have to do our sentiment, and I'm going to use our double oval punch. I forgot about the sentiment part. So we're going to use the sentiment that says "for you" because it's nice and small. And this one I do have to stand up for because I can't possibly see. Okay, we're gonna go like this, just like that. Nice down and straight and not wiggled. I like to do my sentiments with these kind of things because I can do it, I can kind of center my punches and not lose all that paper above. So if you've got cardstock strips, that's the best time to do this. And then I already punched another fancier oval out of Orchid Oasis. And the reason I did Orchid Oasis is just because there's a lot of Starry Sky on here already. So what I'm going to do is glue my oval. I hope I'm on the screen enough. I won't know until later, so that's not good. I'm going to go like that. Hopefully not move it too much. And what I'm going to do for that is, where are my, I need more dimensionals, sorry. There's a new page of dimensionals. And what I'm going to do for this oval is actually put it over top of my ribbon. And then I'll position the berries around it. So that'll be easy to do. Okay, so we got this. Looks like a lot going on my page. Oh, I forgot. You know what? I wanted to bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's do that right side up. Perfect opportunity to show you what not to do. And then I've got my berries here. I'm going to just tuck them under. I'm going to get some more dimensionals. There's one there. All I'm doing is sticking dimensionals on. So if I'm off the picture, it's just for the dimensionals. So sorry about that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do there. And I'm just going to tuck them underneath just like that. Actually, I'll tuck them right over top just like that. And then I am going to choose one of my leaves. You know what? I could even do it right there. You know, and it kind of almost looks like it got cut from right there. It didn't, but let's see. Yeah, we're going to do it there. Okay, down at the bottom. I like this one. I want to do at the bottom. And it could be another, who knows? Let's do it like that. And ta-da, there we have that. What I need to do next is my inside, and I'm going to stamp that again with Starry Sky. And I have my sentiment here. And this one says, oh, let's see, sending you bunches of birthday wishes. Okay, I probably could have opened up my card and read that, but now I just have to make sure that this is going to be right side up and in the middle. So I'm going to trust my block because I always put my stamps on here, trusting my block, whether I can see the bottom or not. If I know that that's straight, I'm usually pretty good. There we go. Let me close up my Starry Sky ink again so I don't make a mess. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to clean these two stamps real quick because otherwise it's going to get all over my other new card that's already done. So there we go. Okay, I've got my chamois handy. What I'm going to do is just put this down here. It's kind of an odd shape, but when I put this other leaf on here, hopefully I can make it look a little bit more natural. There we go. Isn't it kind of fun how it's like having an artificial Christmas tree at Christmas time? You bend the leaves to make it look the way you want it to, right? And there we go. And I'm even going to use my color lifter a little bit more. Just take off a tiny bit more on there. You'll see that in a second, and we're going to glue that to the inside of our card. So that's all that is to this card. So all I did was make it look difficult, but instead of an extra layer, what I did was I cut the rectangle out of the designer paper, kept the rectangle, and I have a slightly larger layer that goes over top of it. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? Really easy too. I meant to put some gems on there, and did I bring my gems with me? I did not. You could use iridescent rhinestones, regular rhinestones. That would give it all a lot of shine and would look beautiful. So let me put these back in here. So once again, shaded spruce and old olive. I did the light of both, and that gave me pretty close. Let me show you again. This one was the shaded spruce over top of the old olive. This was the old olive over top of the shaded spruce. And they look to me pretty similar, very similar. This one might be a tiny bit lighter, more of the old olive because it came out over top. So I think I'd recommend doing dark and then the light. Okay, let's put that away for a second and bring out our next one. Okay, I'm going to do this one. This card was inspired by a swap that I had. Let me show you this card. It's not my favorite card. There's a hair on here. Not my favorite card, but I do love it. So I'm going to show you how I made this one. And the only thing on this I have to do is another bunch of the berries. Just a small bunch that I popped up in the corner. So I learned a couple of things on here when I was doing this, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do the full coloring because this takes a while. When I colored this, I actually used my watercolor pencils. So I used 2 different bunches of pencils. We have the new combination. Nope, that's not it. This is the new combination, I believe. Yes. Nope, this is not. Okay, we don't have this anymore. The 141709 is gone. Instead, we have another pack of pencils. And did I bring them? No, but I can tell you what's in there. These are the new pencils. And I had a little minor panic attack this afternoon thinking, oh my, I never got those from Shirley. But it turns out I have 2 packs of my own. So sometime along the line, I ordered them. These are it's got fresh freesia, melon mambo, pumpkin pie, most of the regular colors, real red, calypso coral, daffodil delight, old olive. You actually have old olive in both of the packs. No, you don't. This one has granny apple green. So let me show you how I colored these cards. And this is kind of a different fold too. So let's get to that too. I actually am doing it. Okay. I have here, once again, just the base, not the inside of the card. I kept the basic black only on the base. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 on the base. And then I have my thick basic white cardstock, and this is 8 by 5 1/4. So 8 inches so that I could score it at 4 inches. And that's going to give me the perfect layer for the front. So it's just like the normal, but I did it double the 4 by 5 1/4, if that makes sense. Double the 4 is 8 by 5 1/4 inches. And what I'm going to do is stamp, and this one I did a little bit different. This one I did on a basic white layer and then glued it on. We're going to try it differently. We're going to stamp on the thick basic white, and then we're going to glue this on the inside. So let's do that real quick. I have and I'm going to just show you briefly. I can't show you the whole card because I don't have time to color it all, but you'll get the idea. I've got the big branch of the blueberries, and it did take me a while to do the coloring with the watercolor pencils. So it's a good thing I have 2 packs of the watercolor pencils because it's going to take people a while to color them. What I did was, I'm going to stamp here, just like that. I'm pressing down and letting it sit there for a second so it absorbs. Not bad. Not great. If I was standing up, I'd probably have a better one. We're going to do this again off here to the side, just like that. Let me get rid of my, this is a super dry gray matte. And then I'm going to do one more, and that one is going to be up here, just like that. And if I had done a better job, it wouldn't be faded like that. But let me show you how I'm going to color these, because that's really important. Once again, I'm using two colors. I have the Old Olive and I have Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to show you. I don't do a great job coloring because when we watercolor, we're going to be able to color it in. So I'm just showing you just so you get the idea. Hopefully you get the idea. So this is what I did. I did some coloring like that, just kind of coloring the whole leaf, just like that. I shouldn't be doing round. I should be keeping the lines pretty uniform. But then I went with my Granny Apple Green over top, and that brightened it up considerably. And then I got to show you what else I did. So this blue is going to color my blueberries, just like that. So we're going like that. You guys know how to color. Let's color our blueberries, and then I'll show you what I did. So I kind of concentrated more on the edges, on the lines, the cheating lines as I call them, because when I color, see if I do it lighter around here. Okay, let me show you how I did it. I tried a blender pen and I didn't like how it turned out. So what I ended up doing instead was my Wink of Stella. And hopefully, I'm just cleaning it out because I colored my blue before. So let me do the green first. And it does a pretty good job of uniform coloring, doesn't it? Look at that. So even though you saw how bad my coloring was, it still does a pretty good job. And if I wanted to look watercolored, I could leave some white space and whatever. I'm going to get rid of the green and let's do the blue real quick. We're going to do it just like that. And we're going to have some nice shiny, shiny berries. So that's how I did that. That's how I did all of my coloring. And then I popped one up over here. So let's do this. I'll get to that in a second, but let me show you what else I did. So I have my black and white ribbon. I have my black and white ribbon here. And what I'm going to do is tie that around here in just a knot. This is the black and white ribbon. There's still the vanilla check as well. I have to tell you, I love doing bows more than knots. I feel like I waste a lot of ribbon with my knots, but I'm going to try. Okay, so there's my knot. And I'm going to kind of finagle it down into place over here, just like that. And I'm going to glue this down on my black piece. So that's how I did that right there. And then inside, because it doesn't, well, you know what? I was thinking I had used the blender pen, but if I wanted to, what I'm going to do is put this on the inside and it's going to hide the ribbon and keep the ribbon in place. And if there's anything that bleeds through from the watercolor pencils or the Wink of Stella, I'm going to cover it up there. So that's that. Let me show you what else I did. I have my square, and this is what I learned. Because I'm going to do the berries in the corner, what I've decided, instead of centering my sentiment, I'm actually going to bring it more down into this bottom right corner. So I have here, So Happy for You. I don't want that to smear on anything. I've got here, So Happy for You. I'm going to put it kind of in that bottom right corner. Oh, I did that on the last time too. Okay, if you get a halo, turn it over and use the other side. And then make sure the next time you don't rock it. Good. So there we go. I usually learn from my first mistake and I don't do it again. But I'm going to add this to my black square. So this is probably the second smallest of the stylus shaped squares. Let me move that out of my way. And let me find my glue, which I left in my other bucket. Boy, I get out of practice, huh? I get out of practice when I don't do this. So I hope you guys have ideas for me of something you want to see. Is there a technique you want to see? Is there a fancy fold you want to see? Is there a certain stamp set that you'd like to see some ideas? And let me just tell you, my inspiration for most of these cards, at least, I actually found my old strawberry cards. I don't know if you remember the strawberry stamp set from a couple of years ago, and it had strawberries and blueberries on the paper. That's kind of how I figured out how to color them. But isn't that a cool thing? I don't want to glue this yet because I have to color, but it's going to go right there down in the corner, and then I'll put my blueberries down here to kind of cover up that corner. And I'll add some rhinestones, and voila, we have this. So there we go. That is card number 3. I'm not super crazy about the watercolor pencils. I like my blends better, but it's another technique that you guys should probably know how to do. And the GICWmAD6wq7LzYwCAGjRjfzwJEVGbv4GAAAF worked really, really nicely with that. I'll put this off to the side and I'll finish it before Thursday night's class, so I have 2 samples. So there we go. I hope you like that card. Kind of a cool card. A different fold a little bit because of doing the basic white on the basic black layer, bottom layer. My last one is a little bit different, and this was inspired by a sketch that I found for one of my strawberry cards. Let me show you this one. You're gonna say, I don't know. I still don't know. This is my last card, and I decided to do it with the daisy paper. Before, we had a whole pack of paper that coordinated with the strawberry stamp set and the berry punch. We had a berry punch, so we didn't have to do a lot of fussy cutting, and it worked out really well, and the paper was perfect. Well, this, I decided to use the daisy paper, and I'll tell you why. I decided that I wanted to bring out a little bit of yellow. I wanted to find some flowers. Obviously, these are daisies. Maybe these yellow ones are more, I mean, those are probably something similar to strawberry flowers. Strawberry flowers are white with yellow, but who knows? We're going to use our imagination that these are the blueberries. And obviously, blueberries don't grow on the ground. They grow in bushes. But we're going to use our imagination and use this paper because I wanted it to work. I put this initially right on my garden green layer. And I believe this is 2 and 7/8 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches. Like I said, I initially put it on the garden green layer, but it was really, really dark. You can probably see that. And then I needed another layer for my next over here. And Misty Moonlight does not correspond, but I needed it for the blueberries. So I had to do something for the blueberries. And this paper almost looks like Misty Moonlight. It's probably more like Blueberry Bushel, but I had to use a different color. So this is Misty Moonlight, and I have the green in there, which looked almost like the garden green. This is actually probably more Pretty Peacock, which is why I used that on my leaves. So let me show you what I did. I have my 2 7/8 by 5 1/4 inch layer, and I'm going to glue that right on my basic white. So let me do that real quick. Yes, you have this beautiful blue, and that would be nice, except that it just doesn't bring out more than one color. And seriously, blueberries are not that color blue, they're darker. So I had to abort the idea of using that color. I'm going to bring this right up to the edge over here. Hopefully that's, I can use, yep, not too bad. Okay, so that's right up to the edge. And then I have this, like I said, this is Misty Moonlight, and this is another paper, another square. that doesn't work. So I decided to use this layer, and I bring out the greens and then bring the blues together. So you're going to see this in just a second. This layer is, I always do this, always look at the metric side first, 2.5 by 4 inches, which means this is going to be 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches. I'm going to add this. I'm going to glue this straight on, but I'm not going to glue it to my layer yet. So this is just me attaching the DSP to the matte layer, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is use my favorite ribbon of right now. Favorite. I love this white with silver ribbon. Thank goodness it didn't retire. And I'm going to tie myself a little bow. I don't want a knot, I want a bow this time. And I can move it around and position it where I want to, but can't tell you how I tie the bows, but they always turn out pretty well. So there's my bow, and I'm going to cut that tail on this side. Do you see how I keep one side attached all the time to this? I may have to cut this side sometimes, but I will have the perfect amount on that side if I leave it. Okay, so now this can now actually, yep, I popped that up. I popped this layer up. I'm getting to the blueberries because you're going to be interested to see how these berries turned out a little bit different. Somebody posted someplace, where is the most interesting place that you found your dimensional backs? Because they're everywhere, everywhere. I found it on my dog's nose, which means they're all over my floor, and he's sniffing my floor, and he picked it up with his whiskers. Isn't that kind of cute? Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm placing this. I guess we're going to go just like that. And I don't have to glue the last one down. So what I'm going to do is attach, oh, you know what? That was close. Let me put that back there for a second. My bow can't stay in the middle. My bow has to go to the side, just like this. So let's do that and get it centered. And then let's put this back on. You don't have to take off these backs if you don't want to, because these all have the backs already taken off. So save yourself a step if you want to. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to center that just like that, top, bottom, and right. It's kind of centered. It's a tiny bit over, but you get the idea. And then let's do our berries. So this is what we're going to do. I have my last square, and this one is, see, I always do it, 2 1/4 by 3 inches. And I'm going to mat it on garden green, 2.5 by 3 1/4 inches. So 1/4 inch larger, and it's going to give me an 1/8 of an inch around each side. Let me first stamp this, and I'm going to use, if I can find them, where did I put these guys? I'm going to use the berries, the smaller bunch of berries. I don't have enough room on this at all to fit my whole thing. So let's do that real quick. I'm going off the edge, and that's okay. Oh, that is okay, except I don't like how I stamped. I didn't do a very good job. I've got to ink that up better. Let me clean up my mess. I wish I had wet this, but I didn't. We're going to turn this over. That's why you have 2 sides. And I'm going to do like I said to do. We're going to bring the ink to the stamp instead of the stamp to the ink. And we'll go just like that. Hold it there for just a second. Much better, much better. And I'll do a better job cleaning my table as soon as I'm off the air, which will be shortly. I used my Misty Moonlight blends and my Pretty Peacock. I just did a coloring here for the leaves. I did the Pretty Peacock. And yes, that's really dark, but you know what? You can go back with a color lifter, and that's exactly what I did. I added a little bit of variety by using the color lifter, because I think this is my light Pretty Peacock. And obviously, leaves for blueberries are not Pretty Peacock. That's just not the color. sorry, coloring and cuttings takes so much time. So fast forward if you watch this on YouTube, because you don't need to watch me color. All in all though, not bad. It colors up pretty quickly. I'm going to use my dark marker, the Dark Misty Moonlight, for my caps right here. And I think that's really all I'm going to put the Dark Misty Moonlight, because even putting it around the edges, it's really dark. So let me use the light here, and this is what we'll do. I'm going to blend that a little bit, blend that a little bit, and then I'm going to use my color lifter for both. I'm not doing a very good job coloring. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Take your time with this, have fun. I mean, coloring is very therapeutic. Not when you're on the air and you're trying to hurry, but okay. And then I'm just going to take, and I don't really need to do it too much with my white, but I am going to do it with my green. I'm going to do the color lifter across the center of the leaves. And I'm not being picky about this. And see, isn't that fun how that picks it up? Almost like gives it its own, and obviously I'm not doing, if I had an art degree, I'd do a better job, but I don't. So I'm going to do it like that. We're going to do it like that. And there, the only other thing I'm going to stamp is hello there. And I will stamp that in Memento because I didn't bring a Pretty Peacock or a Misty Moonlight ink pad. I actually like to stamp my sentiments in Memento because then I know that they're crisper. They're nice and clean. I feel like they're a little muddied when I do my sentiments. And I'm going to do it just like that. Perfect. And like I said, I'm going to mount it on my garden green layer. We're just about done. See, this is what I was afraid was going to happen with that white cardstock with the thick white, but I forgot. We were using watercolor pencils, not blends. You could use blends, of course. I just wanted a different, wanted to do something a little bit different. So there we go with that. And I am going to, this layer is popped up, right? This one, I don't want to pop it up double. That makes it for a lot. But I am going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some dimensionals right on this edge. Right here. Just like that. These don't peel off really easy. I wonder if they're a little bit older dimensionals. And then I'm going to put glue on this side. Just like that. And then when I set this down, just like this, oh, there's my 1 hour I got on right after this. I'm going to just add this to my garden green. Do you hear my Christmas clock? I don't ever change it. I love my Christmas music. And it's so funny. I have people that come to my card class, and if it's quiet, they'll start all of a sudden start humming the songs because obviously they remember them. So what do you think? Do you agree with me about the white layer on the garden green? I mean, it's a little stark, but on the other hand, if it was just that, it would be so dark. And that's why I didn't do that. So, but just a little bit of a different sketch here. So here's these cards. Here's this card with the watercolor pencils and the Wink of Stella to do the watercoloring. And I have this one. And remember, we cut out the rectangle out of the center and then popped it up on another layer. And my last card is this one. And nice and bright. Hope your birthday is wonderful. I hope you loved these cards as much as I did. I hope you can't wait to come to my card class Thursday night or place an order or whatever. You are going to need the Blueberry Bushel stamp set in order to get if you get the card class to go, because I can't stamp images. But let's see. I'm going to flip back. Oh, hearts, I love it. Thank you guys. Here we go. I'm so glad to see you guys. Have a great evening. I can't wait for next week. Next week, I think I was going to do a kit night for my class, but I think next week I have to do one more celebration thing. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye.